Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Bob's Live, our weekly show right here on the internet. And well, as always, you can find us on Rumble, Facebook, X, and YouTube. So we're broadcasting in all those places simultaneously. Also, you can watch it directly on our website over at bobsmarket.com/live. And well, it has been a while since our last show. And if if you know me personally, you know the reason why. Um, I have kind of done live shows and videos kind of on and off over the last couple years, and that's because my dad has been he's been battling bladder cancer. That's a little bit of a mouthful. um, anyhow, in at the end of May, he passed away. Um, but now I am back to work and ready to start making videos again. And I've actually been busy over the summer making videos. So I decided to kind of push back making new episodes of Bob's Live for a little while because I had to get some things in order, that you have to do. Um, but I have been going to events and doing some traveling this summer, and that's let me bank a little bit of video. So we're going to jump back in time to June here a little bit later in the program and visit a place that I went to this summer that I think you'll really enjoy. But first, I thought we would head out to the greenhouse and see what's happening out there. I try to do a weekly live broadcast, usually on Thursday afternoons. We do that on Instagram and then also over on TikTok. We finally have, believe it or not, we have 6,000 followers on TikTok. That's just. Um, but yeah, we go live on Instagram and TikTok, and you can find us in both places at Bob's Market. But if you don't follow that, you probably haven't seen what's going on out in the greenhouse. So I thought I would share a quick update of what we have growing out there.
Hi, it's been a while since I've been out in the greenhouse to do an update. And well, right now we're heading into fall, which means fall crops. And our main fall crop here at Bob's is pansy seedlings. So right here behind me, you can see that we're growing millions of pansy seedlings. Our other big fall crop is mums. I've got some mums right here behind me inside the greenhouse. And we also have mums down here at the river range. And also we have mums here at our uptown greenhouse, both in the smaller greenhouses and also in our massive outdoor growing area. And finally today, we are down here at our Fieldhouse greenhouse where we're growing poinsettia cuttings. So these poinsettias, they start off as little cuttings that we grow roots on. They'll then get transplanted and grown into a finished poinsettia by Christmas time. So follow us over the coming weeks as we follow each of these crops through production to give you a little taste of what's happening here at Bob's Market. And of course, you can find all of these behind the scenes videos on Bob's Live, our weekly show, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, X, and also Rumble.
So that's a quick look at what's happening out in the greenhouse. So right now we've got pansies and mums and poinsettias. Those are kind of our three main crops right now. Up next, I've got two kind of quick things. One is taking a look at the weather, which right now, let me jump over to the weather. It is what outside? Fire, I guess. It is, yeah, it's the heat and humidity. It's like, I don't know. If armpit were air, it's like walking into an armpit. It's just nasty out. And with the hurricane going by, it's going to continue to be kind of humid throughout the rest of this week. But we are looking at some cooler temperatures toward the end of the week once the hurricane passes. Now, lucky for us, it looks like we're going to miss the majority of the hurricane. Um, so, yeah, today, 97. And then 86 Wednesday, still kind of humid and muggy. Then 90 Thursday. And then heading into the weekend, we have a bit of a cool down. So yeah, that is the outlook. And again, it looks like we're going to miss, luckily, most of that rain, which, I mean, we could probably use it. We are kind of in the middle of a drought. Or like borderline drought-ish, I would say. We're not quite there by the standard that they use to measure drought, but it is dry and we need rain. But we don't need, like, they were saying, like, some places in the Carolinas we're going to get like 25 inches of rain. That's just insane. Um, so yeah, that is the weather forecast for the upcoming week. Um, the other thing that I wanted to mention, and I should have made a slide for it for the show, is we're doing a weekly podcast now during the growing season. I wanted to put something out there, you know, kind of like Bob's Live, to kind of cover gardening and everything while I was taking care of Dad. And I really couldn't do video, but hey, I can sit down for 5 minutes and record audio. So I kind of dusted off our old podcast, the Keep Growing podcast, and revamped it. And now we're doing a weekly podcast. It comes out on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. And it gives you the forecast and the gardening outlook for the week ahead based off of the almanac and the WVU extension gardening calendar. So it's very specific to our region here in the Mid Ohio Valley. Sort of West Virginia, Ohio, sort of that region. So yeah, I recommend, if you listen to podcasts, giving it a follow, because it kind of helps you start off that weekend. I know I do most of my gardening projects on the weekend, and it'll kind of get you in the mood and in the mindset of, hey, these are some tasks that I could be doing out in the garden. What I'm planning on doing is a weekly episode through the gardening season. Then once we get that first frost in October, I'm going to switch it back to one episode a month. That'll be more of a long form sit down interview with a person. And I've got some great ideas for potential guests. I just need to reach out with them and kind of get them on the schedule for recording future episodes. Um, but yeah, if you like podcasts, check out that. Also, another thing that I'm working on, we host our podcast on Spotify, which means that Bob's Market has a Spotify account. So if you're like me also, you like to listen to music while you garden, I'm working on putting together gardening playlists, which I think that's really fun. And I'll be creating little like QR code type things that you can actually scan with the Spotify app to follow that playlist. So yeah, that's kind of future things that I'm working on and current things. um, speaking of things that I'm working on, the next thing I need your input on. So get ready down at the keyboard in the comments. Right now, we're doing the gardening Olympics on Facebook. So we've got plants that are going head to head, and whichever one gets the most likes moves on. So we started off with 4 annuals, 4 perennials, 4 vegetables, and 4 houseplants. And then we eliminated down to 2 of each category, and they went head to head. So now I have the final winners of each category. So for annuals, I actually forgot to write it down here. For annuals, Vinca was the winner. So it was the winning annual. For perennials, we had coneflower that won. Vegetables was corn. And for houseplants, I was surprised by this. I thought Monstera was going to win, and actually, it wasn't even close. Snake plant won. But now what I need to do is I want these to go head to head in a semifinal, and then we'll have a final to get our gold, silver, and bronze. So, what I've done is I've written down each of the 4 on post-it notes and labeled them 1 through 4. And what I need is for you to type in a number between 1 and 4. So 1 through 4, just give me a number in the comments. The first one that I see pop up will be the first pick. Okay, so yeah, somebody type 1 through 4, pick any number, and stick it in the comments. And let me look on YouTube. I've got Facebook down here. Twitter's up here on this monitor. So, alright, anybody, give me a number between 1 to 4. And I think I caught everybody at a moment in the stream because people kind of filter in and out of the stream throughout. But yeah, what I'm doing right now is basically process of elimination, and I just need 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the comments. If not, I'm going to go option 2 and grab a coin over here and just flip a coin. Okay. Coin time. Ooh. All right. I have a quarter. And first I'm going to do evens or odds. So I'll make heads evens. And I just dropped it. We're still going to count that. It landed with heads facing up. I think I said evens was heads. Okay, so this is going to be either 2 or 4. We'll make 2 heads, tails 4. Okay, tails. So that will be number 4, which is Vinca. And I gotta figure out where to stick them. Okay, then I'll do an odd. Heads or tails for an odd. And I'll make 1 heads, 2 tails. And I got heads. So 1 is coneflower. So it's going to be coneflower facing off against Vinca and corn facing off against snake plant in our semifinals for the Garden Olympics. So yeah, that was fun. I've got these stuck here so I can remember that. And I'll get those up on Facebook here pretty shortly. The last thing tonight that I wanted to share is somewhere that I went on vacation this summer. It just so happened that this summer was my wife and I, it was our 10th wedding anniversary. And we decided to go to the Outer Banks for our 10th wedding anniversary. And while we were there, we went over to Roanoke Island. And on the island, there is a garden. It's the Elizabethan Gardens. And I recommend, if you're ever at the Outer Banks, going there and taking a tour of the gardens. It is just beautiful. And, well, instead of me sitting here describing it, let's watch the tour. Hi, John Morgan here with Bob's Market and Greenhouses, and today I'm here at the Elizabethan Gardens in Manteo, North Carolina. So let's take a stroll around and just enjoy the gardens.
Nestled in the heart of Roanoke Island, North Carolina, the Elizabethan Gardens stand as a lush tribute to the rich history and horticultural beauty of the Elizabethan era. As you step through the intricately wrought iron gates, you are transported back in time to the grandeur of the 16th century, where meticulously manicured landscapes and vibrant floral displays celebrate the age of exploration and Queen Elizabeth I's reign. Statues and sculptures are thoughtfully placed throughout the gardens, adding an element of artistry and history. The statue of Queen Elizabeth I herself stands regally amidst the blooms, a reminder of the garden's dedication to her era and influence. The gardens are a symphony of color and texture, with winding pathways leading visitors through a series of themed sections. The Sunken Garden, a serene haven, features a circular pool surrounded by an array of seasonal blooms and topiary, reminiscent of the Renaissance gardens of Europe. Here, the gentle sound of water trickling from a classical 14th century fountain adds to the ambiance, inviting contemplation and relaxation. Of the Elizabethan Gardens is the Great Lawn, a sweeping expanse of green framed by majestic trees and vibrant flower beds This open space hosts a variety of events from summer concerts to elegant garden parties, making it a versatile and cherished part of the garden's landscape. The Elizabethan Gardens in Manteo, North Carolina are more than just a collection of plants. They are a living museum, a place where history and horticulture intertwine. Every corner reveals a new surprise, a new story, inviting visitors to explore, learn, and appreciate the timeless beauty and heritage of the Elizabethan period.
So that was a look at the Elizabethan Gardens. And yeah, it was a great trip. We went there right after we actually went to a Beach Boys concert. So, very awesome vacation for our 10th wedding anniversary. Um, I definitely recommend anytime you're on vacation, uh, if you're like me and you have a love of gardening, try working a public garden of some sort into your trip. Whether it's the Elizabethan Gardens there, or um, I'm having a brain fart on the gardens at Myrtle Beach. Uh, Usually, anywhere where you go, there is a garden of some sort or a park to check out. And it makes for a nice break in a busy trip. Um, just to be able to, stroll around, walk through nature, kind of take it in and relax. And, that's the point of a vacation is kind of slowing down and relaxing. Uh, I know I'm guilty of when I'm on vacation trying to plan everything down to the last minute. And usually by like midweek, you're tired and you just want to go home. So working something in like a garden like that um, is really nice. And well, that is all that I have for this week. Um, Again, head over to our website and check out the show notes. Um, this week, I added into the show notes a link to the Elizabethan Gardens website. So if you're headed to the Outer Banks, you can check out ticket prices and all that sort of stuff and upcoming events there. And yeah, Patty says that she's done tours in Charleston, different plantations. Yeah, I went to Drayton Hall in Charleston, and yeah, it was an excellent tour and just a beautiful, beautiful plantation there. Uh, they're they're in the process of like preserving it and conserving it, so it's not like restored. When you walk in, it is as it was, say, 200 years ago. Um, the other thing there is the angel oak tree and visiting it. So that is another awesome, awesome thing to visit. Uh, but yeah, in the coming weeks, I went to Cultivate in July. So I've got some video segments from there that I'm going to be sharing. And then I've also gone to a few events here locally. So be checking out some video from those also. And then coming up this fall, I have a huge garden project at home. Basically, this year I didn't have time to do anything in my garden, and it is now more weeds than garden. So if you've ever been in that situation, we're going to tackle that this fall. Um, so, well, until next time, keep growing.